Hello, my very dear Scorpios. So, the song that came to mind as I started anticipating doing a reading for you was the song from back in the 80s from the band called Journey, and it's called Don't Stop. And it's really simple. Don't stop believing. Hold on. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. And I think that's really what this whole reading feels like it's about for you right now. I feel like you are getting such encouragement from Spirit right now to really hang on to. Now, okay, so this could mean a lot of different things. And the main message is, I think, absolutely clear, but I think it goes a lot deeper than hang on to that feeling and don't stop believing, because I think it is telling you, hang on to the feeling of your beliefs. What do your core beliefs tell you that you know you want to hang on to? And that you're in a process right now where, as part of the healing, as part of the growing, there may be times when you're going to be really having a hard time operating from those beliefs. Not that you don't still hold them, but that integrating them into the parts of your personality that are still healing, that are still wounded, that can still get triggered. That's going to be the thing that might be challenging for you right now. And I'm noticing, as I've been doing many of these readings, a lot of what seems to be coming through in different ways and positioned differently in different contexts is that there is a lot of need for people to really stay centered in their heart and their beliefs, whatever that is that they're dealing with right now. No less for you, my dears, no less for you. To me, that song is so powerful. Excuse me. It really is a ballad. It's one of the best known songs. And it really is it's about resilience. It's about not giving up. It's about, if you look at the story line behind it, it's a very simple story, but it's really about two young people not giving up on their dreams, moving to the city, doing what they need to do to get the life they want. And I feel, Scorpio, that this is really where you are. And what I feel you want is a life of peace. I feel you want a life of peace and the ability to live from a place of expansion. And it's peace, but it's freedom. It's the freedom to explore yourself in a different way, to move beyond a lot of the hard work that you've done and a lot of the containment that you've kind of done in order to be able to achieve certain things and in order to maintain yourself in the face of things that may not have been great for you. And now, twice now, this card of abandonment has come up. And I feel, so abandonment, listen to the words, please. Abandonment isn't just the experience of being left. It carries with it a much deeper sense of desertion, of being left vulnerable without the support or tools we need in order to survive, either emotionally or physically. Now, when we have a sense of abandonment, when we have not had the support that we need growing up, very often what will happen, and I'm talking like, it can be financially, it can be in a lot of different ways. But ultimately, if your spirit is not seen, if your soul is not acknowledged, if your emotions are not honored and respected, and if you haven't been taught how to heal them, if you haven't had somebody help you hold the pain of growing up, just growing up and learning how to be in the world, that can all come down to a feeling of abandonment and a sense of, what the heck do I do next? And so what generally all people will do is we will figure out a coping mechanism. We will figure out a strategy that is based on a certain degree of ignorance and innocence, because we don't understand how the world works when we're young. So whatever mechanisms, whatever strategies we come up with typically are associated with protecting ourselves against something, typically. Now, what's important about this, I think, is that what it can do is it can create this knee-jerk reaction and this expectation of disappointment. We don't want to magnetize more of that to us. But look at what this is about. Abandonment, if we are operating, if any of us are operating, if you are operating, here we go, I'm going to get real. If you're operating from any kind of sense of abandonment, the way I've just described it, or even more literally, then you're operating from a sense of lack, and you're operating from a sense of insecurity on some level. And it doesn't mean to say that you haven't become extremely powerful and very competent, because that is something that Scorpio is known to be. But it can mean that you have not found the deep grounding and confidence in yourself that allows you to go into the world in a way where vulnerable is okay. Thing is, if you go into the world where vulnerable is not okay and you're constantly putting up walls to protect yourself, and the walls don't have to look harsh. They can be quite subtle and they can be quite socially acceptable. But if you are doing that as a way to keep people out, then what you're actually doing is you're feeding the fear, or you're feeding whatever was underlying that issue. So what you're being asked to do here, you really literally, the first three cards that came out, and I'm not kidding, was choice. Choice is where your power is. Forgiveness. Look at everybody in every situation as we're all here to learn and grow, and we will sometimes hurt each other. And can you possibly move towards forgiveness? Because you may not understand everything that's going on with the people that around you. You may think you know what's going on, but there may be other things going on that you don't really grasp. And that maybe by accepting that, you will be more able to forgive. And then the other one that you're getting is, if you were on vacation, look at everything as though this is new, and how would you react to it? Now, oh my gosh, now you get power. Okay, so you've got choice and you've got power, and what we know is that your power comes from the ability to choose. The energy you're being asked to embrace is forgiveness, and to keep yourself in positive triggers. Now, why is this relevant? Okay, what are positive triggers? In case you haven't heard me state this before. Positive triggers are things we know of that lift us up, that open our hearts, that creates a sense of joy, an appreciation of beauty, a lightness of heart, an appreciation, a gratitude. It can be songs, poems, books, music, certain colors, certain scents. It can be a whole range of different things. And certainly nature is a big one for a lot of people. And what that does is it helps lift you out of that sense. It literally raises your frequency. And as it changes your frequency to a higher one, you automatically become more open. It helps release the contracted state that fear brings. And it allows you then to kind of move into that sense of power. That sense of power that is radiating from the center of you. That power, that divine force, that divine love, that is power. That comes from your soul, that is soul directed, as opposed to force, which is from your ego. So if you think about it like this, especially if you're dealing with putting up walls, force is going to be the kind of thing where you're going to apply a wall against a situation, right? And that wall is also now, what that's doing is it's actually giving whatever is behind that wall a chance to build that energy. So if it's fear, if it's avoidance because of fear, or whatever those other emotions are that are not the happy making ones, that's what you're actually giving life to. If you can look at power as being the energy that comes from divine love, from the center of our being, from our wise heart that understands and embraces this whole life process as a learning and growth journey towards greater love, if you can understand that there is a greater power even than the fear, than the ego, and that it exists within you. It's a part of you. It's a part of your higher conscious mind. It's a part of your wise heart. It's a part of what opens you up to intuition and divine inspiration. When you can look at that and you can embrace that, that's when you start being able to turn this from a wall into a boundary. Now, a boundary is flexible and it moves. Now, it doesn't mean that you might still not want to avoid certain people or certain situations, but now you get to do it without that defensiveness that feeds the fear behind it. It allows you to be able to see it in a different light and negotiate it in your head in a different light. Even if you decide never to deal with anybody or anything like that again, it gives you the opportunity to deal with it differently in yourself so that the energy in you gets to move. Now, and transmute. Again, forgiveness. Hold no grudges. Whatever blame you wish to project onto others or yourselves, and whatever resentment seems justified, give it up. Let everyone, including you, be blameless. Name the offense and then decide it's not worth it. Okay? For today, accept that you might not be right in your perceptions. And that's on every single level. Okay? Whether it's not knowing their history, whether it is not understanding, for example, what's going on in a corporate situation, why the town hall meeting isn't giving out all the information about the new situation going on. Well, maybe they can't because they don't have it all yet. Maybe they're not just withholding it. Maybe there's a legal situation. We don't know, right? We don't always know. And then on a cosmic scale, on a big picture scale, we don't necessarily understand why we're in there, but we do know how we wish to feel. And we always know what energy those actions are fueling by how we feel in our body. This is not about telling you you're doing anything wrong, Scorpio. This is about showing you and explaining to you where your freedom lies. Because, oh my gosh, you have done a lot. You have done a lot. I've spoken to so many of you. You have done so much in the last, several years, but really strongly in the last year or two. You've been working on it for a while, and what I've seen is that for many, it's really evolved into a higher state, a more evolved state within the last couple of years, where you've really reached a different place and different understanding. What Spirit is saying is, and this is how you keep it moving in order to be able to set yourself even freer and get to that place of peace and deep, permanent transformation you're looking for. Now, Scorpio, you know you have had Spirit on your side. You have had gifts. You have had support. You have had all the beautiful, beautiful imagery to tell you how strong you are, how powerful you are, and how you are being honored for your work and your intention. And it is there. And now what they're giving you is don't stop believing. Go back. If you're in any doubt, go back over the readings that inspired you, whether it's mine or other people's. Check it out. Use those as positive triggers. Remind yourself of what it feels like to have Spirit support you, because they're still here doing all of this. And that is what they really want to offer you, is a reminder that you have the power of choice. And that forgiveness doesn't have to mean saying, it's okay, you did this. Forgiveness can simply be saying, I don't know, and I'm choosing to say, maybe there's something else I don't get, and I'm just not going to feed that grudge right now. If nothing else, I'm going to distract myself, and I'm going to move into the positive triggers that help lift me out of the need to be in that. And please remember, Scorpio, this is not a criticism. When you've lived with this for a long time, which many of you have, you've got neural patterns built up around this. And part of what this is about is keeping it moving so that the neural patterns can shift. When I say keeping it moving, keeping the energy moving, keeping the energy vibe high, and allowing yourself to really know that when you do that, it's not just avoidance, it is choosing to not deepen that old neural pattern, and it's choosing not to fuel those old adrenaline-based chemicals that tend to create an addiction to that kind of thought. It's work. You've already done a lot of it. Now is not the time to give up, okay? You have still got the beautiful, beautiful imagery of the jewels running up your spine. And you have got a beautiful barge that is carrying you. And what you're being reminded of is that this is not a human barge. This is a barge that is being carried by spirit. This is a barge that is being carried by your angels. And when you feel lost and when you feel frustrated, remember your beliefs and believe in them. Believe in your angelic team. Okay, Scorpio? For whoever needs to hear this right now, please remember. I just heard the word, remember your magnificence, and lean into that because it's bigger than anything else that's ever been a problem. All right? Your spiritual magnificence. Take care, my very dear Scorpios.